1 week before he died, a famous actor showed his brand new car to a stranger outside a restaurant in Los Angeles. The stranger looked at it and said, "Please never get in that car. If you do, you will be found dead in it by this time next week." The actor laughed. 7 days later, he was dead. But that is not the strange part of this story. The strange part is what happened to the car after. By 1955, James Dean was the most talked about young actor in Hollywood. East of Eden had just come out. Rebel Without a Cause was weeks away from release. He was 24 years old and the entire world was watching him. But James Dean didn't care much about fame. He cared about speed. Between film shoots, he raced. Not casually, seriously. He competed in SCCA events across California and was genuinely fast. His producers hated it. His contract with Warner Brothers technically forbade him from racing during production. He ignored that. On September 21, 1955, 9 days before he died, Dean traded in his old Porsche at Competition Motors in Hollywood and bought a brand new 1955 Porsche 550 Spyder Silver 1.5-liter engine. 112 horsepower in a car that weighed 550 kilograms. One of the fastest machines on the road at the time. He had a customizer paint his racing number on the hood 130, and below the Porsche emblem on the engine cover, 4 words: "Little Bastard." The name came from a nickname his friend Bill Hickman used for him. Some say it came from Warner Brothers. Studio boss Jack Warner, who had called Dean exactly that when he refused to leave his trailer on set. Either way, Dean wore it like a badge. He owned the car for 9 days. 2 days after buying the car, Dean was outside a restaurant in Los Angeles when he ran into a British actor he had never met before. The man's name was Alec Guinness. Guinness would later write in his diary that the moment he saw the silver Porsche, something felt deeply wrong. He described the car as sinister. He said he heard himself saying words he didn't quite recognize as his own voice. "Please never get in it. If you get in that car, you will be found dead in it by this time next week." Dean laughed. He thought it was funny. He drove away. 7 days later, on September 30th, 1955, Dean was barreling down Route 466 near Kalami, California, at approximately 85 miles per hour when a 23-year-old student named Donald Turnipseed turned his Ford Tudor sedan directly across Dean's path without seeing the small silver Porsche coming. The impact was catastrophic. Dean was pronounced dead on arrival at Paso Robles War Memorial Hospital at 6:20 in the evening. Alec Guinness had been off by 1 day. The little bastard was declared a total loss and sent to a salvage yard in Burbank. A doctor and amateur racer named William Esherick, who had competed against Dean, found the wreck and bought it. He stripped out the engine and installed it in his own Lotus race car. He gave the transmission and suspension parts to his friend and fellow racer Troy McHenry. 11 months after Dean's death, both men entered the same race, the 1956 Pomona Sports Car Races. Both were driving cars built with parts from the little bastard. Both crashed. Esherick survived. McHenry hit the only tree on the racetrack and was killed instantly. What remained of the little bastard, the mangled body, 4 wheels, a twisted frame, was acquired by George Barris, a famous Hollywood car customizer. The frame was beyond repair, so Barris did something else with it. He loaned the wreck to the National Safety Council and sent it on tour. From 1957 to 1959, the twisted remains of the car that killed James Dean traveled to car shows, movie theaters, and bowling alleys across California as a warning against reckless driving. The car that killed its owner was now being used to tell other people not to die. During this tour, 2 tires from the car were sold separately. Both reportedly blew out at exactly the same time, sending the new owner off the road. The wreck fell from its display in Sacramento and broke a bystander's hip. A truck driver named George Barkas was killed when the Porsche fell on him while he was transporting it to a road safety expo. In March 1959, while in storage in Fresno, the little bastard caught fire for no explained reason. It survived the fire with minimal damage. Everything around it burned. The car did not. In 1960, the California Highway Patrol decided they were done with the little bastard and arranged to return it to George Barris in Los Angeles. The wreck was loaded into a sealed container. Some accounts say a truck, others say a boxcar on a train, and sent from Miami to Los Angeles. It never arrived. When the transport reached Los Angeles, the container was still sealed from the outside. No signs of forced entry. No signs of tampering. The little bastard was simply gone. No explanation was ever found. No remains were ever identified. No one was ever charged. A $1 million reward was offered in 2005 by the Volo Auto Museum in Illinois for any verified information about the car's whereabouts. A man came forward claiming to know where it was hidden. After lengthy negotiations and a lie detector test, no agreement was reached and the trail went cold. In 2020, a single transaxle believed to be from the little bastard was discovered in Massachusetts. It sold at auction in 2021 for $387,000. It is the only verified, remaining piece of the car ever found. The rest of it, whatever is left, has not been seen in over 60 years. Here is what is verified and confirmed. James Dean owned the car for 9 days. A man who had never met him told him the car would kill him within a week. It killed him in 9 days. The engine went into another car, and that car's driver died in a race. The transporter who carried the wreck was killed when it fell on him. The car caught fire in a locked garage and survived while everything else burned. And then, sealed inside a container with no signs of entry or exit, it vanished from the face of the earth. Some believe George Barris staged the disappearance, that the car was never on that transport, that he invented the story to keep the legend alive and profitable. Barris himself told contradictory versions of what happened. Sometimes it was a truck, sometimes a train, and he never produced any documentation to prove how it was shipped. Some believe the car still exists, that someone found it, understood exactly what they had, and decided the safest thing to do with the cursed car worth millions was to lock it away where no one would ever ask questions. And some believe the little bastard did what it always did. It refused to be contained, it refused to be explained, and when it had nowhere left to go, it simply disappeared, the way cursed things do when the world stops being able to hold them. The only thing that is certain is this: every person who got close to that car paid a price. The actor who owned it, the doctors who bought its parts, the truck driver who carried it, the strangers who stood near it at exhibitions, and the car itself outlasted all of them. If it is still out there and there are people who believe it is, then somewhere right now, the little bastard is waiting. It has always been patient. Leave your theory in the comments. After 65 years, nobody has solved this. Maybe you have the piece that changes everything.